Hey guys, Box90 here with a Musings video about two topics. One is the reprinting of fetch lands, and one is regarding Planeswalker stuff. So the first I saw on Blogatog, again, another question about will we see the fetch lands in Standard, and of course Mark Rosewater says it's a possibility, which is as his way of saying I'm not going to say. But basically, the way I look at it, the printing of fetch lands, I don't see them being reprinted for quite a while, even though people are saying with the land effects we're seeing in M14, they could probably be reprinted in M14. I don't think so. I really don't think we're going to see fetches until shocks are out of Standard because, for a couple of reasons. One, they're bringing life gain as something that's an option in M14. There's a lot of life gain effects between Scavenging Ooze and the Archangel of Thune and all of these staffs. With so much life gain going around as options to actually do stuff, I really don't think they want to have both fetches and shocks in Standard, because then the drawbacks to the life loss, which would be tremendous if you're running 4 or 5 color decks and you're running shocks and fetches, you could potentially lose anywhere from 3 to 5 life just from your lands as a regular thing. I don't think with all the life gain going on they want to do that, because then there'll be no real drawback to running all of those land fixers, and I think 4 and 5 color decks would be very, very powerful and very viable. They've already been just with shocks, and I think with fetches would make them, cement them as incredibly powerful in the format. Not necessarily a bad thing, but again, I don't think they would put life gain, which would get rid of that drawback of life loss, into the same format that they're going to have fetches and shocks alongside. Secondly, I don't think they'd reprint all 10 fetch lands at the same time. I've heard people say that, well, if they did it with, had Innistrad and the core set lands, so you had all 10 of those duels in the same, standard format, so they would consider doing that with all the fetches. I don't think so. I think they would probably reprint the allied fetches, most likely because they're so old and they're becoming so expensive, and they're not on the reserve list. But again, I don't think they're going to be seeing reprint now, and I don't even think they would necessarily see reprint in Theros. The thing is also about the fetches that they're, how should I say it, R&D doesn't really like the pain lands. They don't like them in the sense that, yes, of course they help competitive players and of course they make decks more viable, but in terms of newer players, I really don't see them bringing pain lands, which what fetches are, into core sets. I think that we would probably see them reprinted in a regular block, not in a core set, because they really want to make the core set players able to use the land. And I've met lots of casual players and newer players. They really don't like the pain lands because they think that they're useless. They don't really do a lot. Why don't you just run the basics or run duels that don't hurt you? Why would you run lands that hurt you? And they don't like taking damage from them. They don't like using them, and so they don't use them. So again, I don't think we're going to see the fetches in a core set. Even if we did, we wouldn't see them until M15. Again, I really don't think so, and I don't think they're probably going to be in Theros. More to the fact, I don't think they're going to reprint all 10 fetches in the same block, and I don't think they're going to put them in Standard alongside shocks. That's my general musings about the fetch lands. So Mark Rosewater will say it's a possibility. We probably will see them reprinted at some point, but again, I don't think it's going to fit into any of those categories. And then the Cotton Rapster made a point about they might not have Planeswalkers in Theros. They're definitely having an M14. That's not even a question. Planeswalkers are a big draw for core sets because they draw newer players, but we don't necessarily need to have them in the regular block set. As we noticed, there's been a decrease. You had, I think it was just Gideon and Ralzarek. You had like 1 in each block, and then 2 in Return to Ravnica. But that's not 2 per block. So it seems like they are kind of pulling a little bit back, even though you could say Dragon's Maze was a smaller set. But even so, I think they've been pulling back on the Planeswalker dump, at least out of core sets. And it'd be really nice, I think, to have a set like Theros with very powerful legendary creatures and in the heroic god theme, and not having Planeswalkers. I think that'd be very cool. I think it was a great point by the Cotton Rapster. That would be very interesting. Musings as to how they would do that, we'll probably wait until we're closer to the set. We have maybe a few spoilers, get a feel for what the set's going to be like, and that I might continue that theme of thinking if they don't immediately spoil a Planeswalker. Let me know what you guys think about these two musings down below in the comments section. As always, check out my channel sponsors in the description, and Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.